November 11th, 2023, East vs West 10. The 41-year-old arm wrestling legend Denis Cyplenkov suffered a humbling loss against Devon Larratt. In the post-match interview, Denis looked sad and broken. The way he said that he doesn't think he can beat this version of Devon made the fans worried, and they thought that Denis may not continue after that. Even Engin Terzi sensed that, and he immediately took the mic in his hand to appreciate Denis Cyplenkov's efforts and to motivate him. Despite being one of the most successful tournament arm wrestlers ever, Denis does not enjoy competing in tournaments that much. And surprisingly, he likes super matches, but he does not have that much experience in the super match format. And usually he did not face anyone with a better endurance. The ring rust of 5 years of non-activity at the high level and only training for defense didn't help either. Devon said this about Denis: "I hope that Denis stays with it. I hope that this is just all still part of his comeback. There's not many people who are going to beat Denis." The first thing that Denis said when interviewed by True Power was that he had no issues going into the fight. He was feeling strong and healthy. He lost because Devon was just too strong for him. His plan of climbing the ladder from John to Devon to Levan failed because although he did get stronger, but Devon also got stronger at the same time and at least at an equal rate, as explained by Denis himself. "I tried. Now I understand what exactly I need to strengthen. My main mistake, I guess, was that I was working on the pronator. I was working on the defense, but I should have been working on attacking and counter-attacking." Not even once did Denis go on the winning side in this entire match. There were some brief moments when the match was right in the center, and that too at the mercy of Devon, because either Devon wanted to adjust some positions or he wanted to look Denis straight into his eyes and let him know who's the man on the table. Denis is an arm wrestling legend, and watching him compete on the table is a treat and a dream come true for many arm wrestling fans. So for the fans, he has to continue, he must continue. So here are 5 things which I believe are next for Denis Cyplenkov with some suggestions from my side. Number 1. Denis knows the best about himself. So the number 1 thing is to change the training as he was himself suggesting. So maybe more attacking practice with ARMWRESTLING, less focusing on endurance and more focusing on getting strong, and maybe try to hit the King's move more often in the practice. This is what I believe was missing in his game, and he may need that if he wants to climb the ladder in the future. Because it's a simple math. If prime Denis Cyplenkov needed the King's move in many matches, then this version is for sure going to need that. There is just no way around that. Denis said, "Larratt is enduring. It turned out that I fell into his trap." So he was impressed by Devon's endurance. He did say that I got the stop, my defensive game was okay, but I couldn't do anything after that. He didn't allow me to do anything. So focus more on training the attacking aspect of the game. Number 2, and the most important thing, is to know which matches not to take. As soon as the Devon versus Denis match was announced, I was one of the only one who was saying that this shouldn't happen. I'm a big Denis fan, but he must take another match before going to Devon Larratt. So that is history. Let's talk about future now. Although Gennady was able to beat Devon and Devon defeated Denis relatively easily, still I believe that Gennady versus Denis can be a match. Maybe in April when Gennady is going to make a comeback, because Denis is also going to be stronger by then. And Gennady's style suits well for Denis Cyplenkov, unlike Devon Larratt. So that is one match that may be really interesting. Monster Michael Todd is going to compete in January at East vs West 11. Depending on his performance there, if he looks impressive, then in April, I think Monster versus Denis rematch has to happen. It will be really, really awesome. The King's move is once again going to be difficult for Denis to deal with, but as people say that he is a more technically sound arm wrestler, which to be honest I did not see in this match against Devon, but Devon was so good at not allowing Denis to use his power. Michael is also good at that, but he's not at Devon's level. Then maybe a Jerry Cadret match. Jerry got dad moved at Zloty by Denis Cyplenkov, so maybe he is also thinking about a rematch, and that can be a good match too. Georgi Svetkov is for sure going to take Denis Cyplenkov's wrist, but there may be a stop by Denis near the pin pad, and he can maybe work from there. Artem Morozov can be a good match. They have gone back and forth in training. Denis has been mostly dominant, but I don't think they will be willing to compete against each other yet. The number 4 competition idea for Denis is going to be the AMC, the ring rust that Devon was talking about can simply vanish if Denis competes at the AMC once. AMC tournament's next edition is going to be in December next month. If Denis decides to compete there, it is going to be really, really good for him. And if Zaur and Vitaly are not competing there, then Denis has a good shot, a very good chance at winning that tournament. Number 5 is the last option. Don't get mad at me for suggesting this, but if Denis sees that he has no other option but to quit because he cannot win at the top level, then cut weight to 115 kilos. Denis was eating much, he was bulking, then he got to 128, 129 kilos for this match. He usually walks around 124. If he cuts 4 kilos of weight and then cuts 5 kilos of water weight for the competition, he's going to be almost equally strong because he's going to still weigh about 121, 122 kilos during match day, and he can rule the 115 kg class. But the big problem there is that Devon is still there. Although Engin said that Denis could have destroyed the 115 kg Prudnik match version of Devon, but I still doubt that. I think even that version of Devon in a very close match could have beaten this version of Denis Cyplenkov. And finally, I have noticed as a fan of Denis one thing about him. He looks kind of sad and depressed. I don't know why. He's not usually having fun. Maybe because he's alone, he's 41. Maybe he should get married or something, start a family as he was suggesting a few years ago, have some kids. And I would like to see a happy Denis Cyplenkov in the future. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.